Hi everyone, it's Diane from Boho Stamper. There it is. We are live and we have sound. So let's get going. I'm a little early getting on here. I'm dog sitting this week and next. So while everyone is laying down taking their little morning nap, I snuck off to my craft room to get this little video done. So if you remember last week we used a technique that typically I have seen in journal videos and have used for journal cards myself, where we collaged some paper but made it into a card. And I think I'm going to do the same thing today, not with collage, but I saw last week, and I linked the Shinuki art video in the description box below, where she was mass making actually index cards with some book page, and I'm going to show you the basic technique for doing this. And I enjoyed it so much. This was like my first one that I got through, kind of like my prototype, following her instructions. But I was thinking, why don't we do that again? We can use these same techniques and make a card. So let's get started, and I'll show you how we started this whole little project out. And I did all this on a bunch of index cards, but right now I have a piece of just basic white cardstock, and we're going to start the same way. Let me get my paint box. And pick my color. I didn't grab this ahead of time because I've been using a big cardboard box and didn't have the room really to set it here. So use whatever kind of ink that you might have. If you have just ink pads, you might want to put some of it onto an acrylic block and add some water and use that just to sprinkle on your cardstock. I actually have some distress stains. The ones that I used already, I used various colors. Some of them are mica stains, some of them are just distress ink stains. Trying to make sure I have that all blended up. And then I just did a light spritz to get some color on my cardstock. And then I used just very slight pressure. Ooh, those are some big droplets. To make some splatters, some drops. And then I just set that aside to dry. That's quite a big splatter, isn't it? I don't know if I would want it that bright. That's okay, because it's going to get toned down anyways. I don't know what I'm worried about. Yeah, so I've done a couple of cardstock pieces already. Sorry, we have lovely weather right now, but that also means allergies, so I am still losing my voice. So these were all the little index cards that I did, and I spritzed them with different sprays. I had some with vintage photo, some I like antique linen a lot, and some of them I added some pewter spray on there. And that's how we start out. We have just a piece of paper here with our ink on it, and then took some old book page. Forgot to get a whole sheet here. And originally I did this with just glue stick and was real disappointed when I went to take my paper off after it had dried at how little actually stuck. So I changed my mind a little bit with that and just grabbed some tacky glue and smeared some tacky glue onto my painted cardstock. We'll see how these turned out on our index cards here. Kind of keep an eye on your words. You know, depending on where you got your book from, you're just not quite sure what words are going to come out there on your card. This one's this book's not too bad. It actually has a lot of biblical references in it, and that's okay. Again, some of it's going to get covered up, but I certainly don't want anything showing up that's going to be completely embarrassing. And I'm doing this after my spray stain has dried, definitely dry. And then we're just going to set this aside and let it dry for a long time. I actually let my original ones sit overnight. And then this morning I started to work with some of the paper, and that's when I saw that some of it really didn't leave too much print on my cardstock. I'm looking for, I have another piece of cardstock. I just cut some green to use as my card base, but I lost my one with my print on it, with my book page on it. Oh, there it is. It's on the garbage. Not ready to trash it yet. Okay, so when I tried the index cards and I didn't really get the results I wanted, I just grabbed my papers and used the tacky glue and glued some of the book page back on. And let it sit all morning again to dry. That's better. And so this is kind of the results that we were looking for. More so than, I mean, this index card just ended up with a little bit of font on the top and in the middle there. So I really wanted more than that. Just giving it a little bit more of a vintage look. Cool beans. And so I'm planning on using some of these for my Boho Journal that I'm working on. I've been trying to work on ephemera sort of off and on in the evenings after the kids go home with their dad. But I'm not having the time up here like I like. It's making me sad. Maybe this weekend I'll get to spend some more time up here. Everybody's being really quiet right now, though, so shh. I don't want to wake up the pups. They're not really pups, that's the thing. They're really large dogs. So, and one of them is deaf, so he needs more attention. He's very needy. He wants to know where you're at all the time. That's why when he's taking a nap, that's when I get to go do something else. But he's a sweetie. Yep. Okay, so you get the idea. We've glued some little pieces of book page to our painted backgrounds and let them dry. And I just want a couple of these set aside ready. Oh, hit you in the head already. Look at that. We just got going. So that after my card, I might work on some of those if everybody's still being quiet. Let's get rid of some of these little pieces. And here's my card base, or my card panel. And this was Frosted Juniper Distress Mica Stain that I sprayed on my cardstock. And then I just used tacky glue and added my book page. Rip some of that off. And my panel actually is larger than 4¼ by 5½ by thing. I just took a piece that I knew would be big enough to trim down and make my card panel. Now we want to blend it in a little bit. And on my prototype one, I had some, this was Gilded Avocado Opal Blaze Polish. And I'm pretty sure I got this in like a Simon Says stamp box or something. But I used that on here, and it looks white in the jar, but it really does have a bit of a greenish avocado tint to it. For my card base, I don't really want the glitter so much, and I don't really want the green. And so I am going to follow what Shinuki Art did in their video and use some gesso and just apply some gesso over the top of it. Oh, and I meant to do that so that it would dry. It's all right. We'll put it on our card and then we'll set it aside to dry, because I'm not really going to use a heavy coating of it. I just want to blend in the book page to the card panel. You can use a brush or a sponge, whatever you like. I don't mind using my hand. Ooh, a little heavy. Just spread that out so we can see the page behind it. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Hope I'm talking loud enough. Like I said, trying not to disturb the troops while everybody's resting. Oop, 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 come back. So once we have that blended in there nice, and at this point, you could add more color if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave that pretty much just like it is. I have a little piece of book page there that's sticking up. All right, so I'll set that aside to dry for a couple minutes while we get some other things ready. We have our little index card we can play with while this is drying. I'm going to make a get well card with this today, just because I don't have many of them. All right. Now, on the video, they just use some black thread, and I did use that on my little sample, kind of like in the contrast of the black with the gesso on the card. That puppy drying. And then I had, these are just some little die cuts. My son got me these actually one year for Christmas. I also have some Tim Holtz Ideology. I just saw a bird and a flower on there, so I figured we could use something out of that. You know there's got to be fun images in here, right? And you could, I think you can color these as well. But I think for this one, I'm going to use one of these pieces out of what my son got me. Oh, that's kind of cool, with the books. Ooh, pretty. Aw, I like sewing machines. And I can't even tell you where these are from. I don't have the original wrapping from them. But since I'm going to use this one's going to go in my Boho Journal. I kind of like the crown on there. And where did I just put all my words? Any kind of words or numbers or labels. I have words from Pink Monarch and from 49 Dragonflies and from Tracy Fox, and some little words that I just have left over from some like daytimers, calendars. And I like these little sayings. I can't remember who I got those ones from. I think I also have down in here just, here's my Christmas words. When I find them in a book or left over from any of my cards, I just throw those in here as well. And I just keep little words that I like. You never know. Look at that. You never, oh, I thought that was going to say you never know. You never fail until you stop trying. We'll use that on here. Dropped one of my little labels. So, just kind of play around and get some ideas for just like when you're making your journal cards, anything that you have that you may want to add to your background. Maybe a postage stamp. These are little crafty stamps that I have. Or maybe some handmade papers, mulberry paper, whatever you might have for that. I don't really know. This came in a paper pack from our craft store so many years ago. I love all the little fibers in it. You can see all the little pieces sticking out. I enjoy that. And I kind of want this a little straighter than my first one. And don't trust myself to cut it straight because I don't usually do that very well. Let me just, and yes, I could have used a new blade. Guess I'm going to use scissors after all. Can she do it kind of straight? No, not really. Not really. It's okay, we can blend this in too with a little bit more of the gesso. And then before she started to glue this stuff down, she used just a fine micropoint pen. You can stitch this on your sewing machine also, but I think that during this video, the point was to show how to use some of what you have. And yeah, I might have messed this up because I was writing over top of the paint. I might have messed it up. Hoping that I didn't ruin the pen all the way. But just made some faux stitching on screen, I hope. And that way you don't have to worry about if you've got a sewing machine or not. Make some little red scribbles, just like if it was stuck in your machine. And that just makes kind of a nice little border around the edge. We did that on one of our cards not too long ago. Not the sewing scribbles, but more just a hand-drawn border, and it worked well. Okay, now let's add a little bit more color. Add some of this fibrous paper here, just because I like it. And I kind of my thread pretty neat. Didn't mean to make it that neat. And then it didn't show up behind my little crown here. I think I'm going to put a little bit more of this color down there. I like it. It's a pretty paper. It's a very pretty coral color. I noticed when I was working on my on some of my boho pages for my journal, I printed them on parchment, and so everything's starting to look kind of vintagey and old. And I was thinking, you know, the allure of making this journal was because I was enjoying the color, you know, different colors and designs and stuff. And here I am using all this stuff that's making it look old. So I went and dug some of my papers out to try to add color back in rather than keeping it all vintagey looking, which is how I ended up pulling out those papers. You know, I can talk. And a little bit of glitter on there. That's pretty. I still find it amazing with the amount of allergy medicine that I'm taking that I struggle in the weather changes so much. So much. And then there we have a little index card. These are lined on the back. I did spritz a little bit of the Distress spray stain on the backs just to make them blend in with my front of my cards a little bit. Okay, so I have two. I'm just going to set these under a stack of something to weight them down because those die cuts, those chipboard die cuts are a little bit thick and they don't really want to just lay flat. So that's the technique that I used, thinking that we could add that to a card. All right, so we have our ink sprayed card panel, added our journal or our book page to it, blended it in with a little bit of gesso. You can see how it kind of just blends the book page into the background a little bit more rather than when you just have it directly on the card. I don't know if this is dry all the way. If it's not dry all the way, it'll rip your card panel too. I don't really want that. It's so much fun ripping it off. I love the little edges, how they just fade into the paper on the back. So here you can see the difference then between when we have some gesso blending it in and we just have the card with our book page on it. You can make your card either way, whichever way you prefer the look. All right, let me get this set under, geez, I could set, oh, I know, I'll just set it under my die cuts. Those weigh about 8 million pounds. Hardest part will be remembering that they're there. Yep, I'll be looking for those later. Thinking, didn't I make a couple of those index cards? Okay, and then what I thought would be fun on a card, I guess I better put my greeting, oh, no, I'm going to stamp it and add it with a label anyway. I thought embossing, dry embossing this would be pretty. And I have the Stampin' Up embossing folder, time worn type. I thought that was kind of suitable since I'm adding font to my card. Time worn type 3D embossing folder. And just grab my big cut and emboss here. Oh, he's a big guy. This is a 3D folder, so I can use my different embossing plate on this one. Just run this through our emboss machine. Just try not to shake the table too bad. I hope I didn't make you seasick. If you watch me on Mondays also, but didn't see this past Monday yet, we're making my Stampin' Up videos. I'm making cards using my mini cut and emboss because it is currently on sale for 20% off through the month of March. And we're using some stamp and die cut bundles that work well in that mini cut and emboss machine. But I wanted to just let you know, in case you didn't see it, when I was making my card this past Monday, let's see, we did this Mother's Day card with the hydrangeas. And when I was looking around for these little pearls that I knew I had, I found quite a few in my stash. And I had offered, if anybody does end up taking advantage of this sale and ordering the Hydrangea Haven stamp and die set through my website, and you use my shopping code on there, I'm going to share some of these pearls with anybody who gets that hydrangea set, because these are Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and is it Seaside Spray? I don't know. It's a light blue color. I think there's 4 colors in here. But I have a lot of these, so I thought, I'll cut a strip off of them and share them with folks if you want some. And that way, if you make a hydrangea card, you could add the little purple pearl beads as well. So, if you're out there shopping, keep that in mind. Look for that those bundles that are on sale this month, because they work well in that little mini cut and emboss machine. You don't have to pick up the Gigundo one like we just did. Okay, ooh, that's cool. Okay, so now we have some 3D texture added on here as well. And with this frosted juniper paint, I thought it kind of looked pretty with the soft succulent background. What's that from? Oh, from my little die cuts. I do like to put things away when I'm done if I can remember what they go in. All right, put my folder back up there. So I need to trim this down. Add that to the front of the card base. I guess I'll make this 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I'm not really putting any other, what did I just do? Oh, look at that, Oh, where's my brain? I can't think of the word. What is this? Scoring blade. My scoring blade fell out. Get that paper out of there that got stuck. Wow. I can't believe I couldn't think of that. All right, so 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I think I'm going to cut a little off of each side because I kind of like where the paper is laid out in here. 4 1/8. Just turn this down by 5 3/8. That'll work. And then again, we can add any kind of a focal point on here. I have those dried flowers that we used last week on the collage card. I have those chipboard die cuts. If you have a stamp set that has a stamp that you want to use, that maybe has a coordinating die cut. Oh, I have some birds. I just saw that one with a little bit of green on there. That might be pretty. Actually, it might be really pretty on there. And then I did find a stamp set that was How to Get Well Sentiment. This is out of the Needle on Thread set. And it has Get Well Soon. Sending you happiness and love. That'll work. Yeah, it will. It really, really will. So, we have a Get Well Soon. I think I'll stamp this and then maybe I need a little bit of the green or the soft succulent to map my words. Oh my goodness, I'm also blind. Not only can I not think of words today, I'm blind. Soft succulent. I know I have. Oh, there it is. Oh, gee, willikers. Not always supposed to be a rough day, is it? And it's so pretty outside. I don't want anything to make today yucky. It's gorgeous. I just love being able to have the windows open. I really do. So do the dogs. My goodness, they're just thrilled because our deck. I can hear poor Judd. He's the dog that's deaf, and I can hear him snoring downstairs. I can hear him clear up here snoring. He snores so loud. My goodness. Anywho, our deck has a little gate on it so that I can close it, and they like being able to go sit outside on the deck and just get their suntans. So they're pretty happy that the weather has changed. I should do my inside while I'm at it. And I have my ink out. Now my kitty cats are not really being happy right now because when the big dogs are here, I let them go into the basement and I just close the door so that we don't have any kitty doggy chases. I'm just not sure how those big guys would, how well they'll get along. Happiness. So, rather than torment the cats, I just make them stay in the basement. And then when the big dogs go home, they can come back, and it's working out okay. But the first thing they do is run to the open windows. I mean, gallop. Kitty cats galloping to the windows. Like, oh my God, we missed the whole day. I love being able to use techniques and ideas for both journaling and card making. All right, I can set my little stamp set aside, close the ink up so I don't put my hand in it or get it on anything. Have our inside ready. Let's trim this down and get a background panel for that. I don't really know how straight I got that. It's not too bad really, but let's see here. I try to use the lines that are molded into the plastic. I must not have done too bad because it didn't trim any off. And line my words up. I really do not trust myself to cut straight. I just don't do a great job of that. All right, let me get a little piece of this green. Yep, well, that's about half an inch. Is that right? My goodness, yeah. So let's cut a piece 3/4 of an inch to mat behind my greeting. Let's see how that fits. It's kind of large. Yep, kind of big there. Come on, come on, you can do it. Oh my goodness, doesn't want to move. Everybody wants to do their own thing today. I don't know if I told you guys, I watch a lot of Acorn TV. You know, it's a streaming app, and every once in a while, somebody from the Acorn group will suggest a show, and some of them I really like. One of them I want to watch, but it's got subtitles, and I am not, by the time I sit down in the evening to watch a show, I'm not really in the mood to try to follow along with subtitles. So anyway, someone had suggested The Indian Doctor, because I watched another series that's called The Good Karma Hospital, and actually that new season will just be starting up again next week, I think it was. Very excited about that because I really like that show. Anyway, so I started watching The Indian Doctor. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It really is a good show. So if you've got, if you happen to stream Acorn TV, give The Indian Doctor a go. I like this other one that's on, Keeping Faith. It's more of a suspense drama type show, and hubby likes thrillers, horror, scary stuff. I do not. They make me very stressed out. So he was watching a spooky one last night, and when that finished and he was getting ready to go to bed, he said, "Go ahead and put one of your shows." I I'm going to have to unwind here and de-stress a little bit before I can go to bed. Good grief. Some of them make me get so scared. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not really that big of a chicken, but yeah, this one, I don't even remember the name of it. They were in Ireland, and there were these creatures in the woods outside of their house that stole children, and yeah, I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight. They had, of course, the couple living there had a little baby, and these creatures were trying to get the little baby, and I was stressing. I just could feel my whole body tensing up. Well, anyways, Keeping Faith does that to me a little bit too, because it is a very intense drama, and in that one the character's husband is missing, and she's finding out more things about his past as she goes along looking for him, and so it does tend to get a little bit tense at times as well. But the Indian Doctor is just a nice, quiet, relaxing program. I mean, what are they called? I mean, it's not really a drama. There is drama in it, but it's not stressful. So, anyways, give that one a look if you have a minute, and you have Acorn, or you have access to Acorn, on your computer or television, whatever. It's really a very nice show. I put my iPad down there out of the way, and now I can't tell if I'm on screen or not. That's pretty bad. And I think we're just going to glue flat on here, but I got to use liquid glue because, remember, we've dry embossed that now and added texture to our card panel. Pretty birdie. I think some of these birds were from Tracy Fox. Some birds are from Rachel at Roxy Creations. I don't know where this one's from. Oh. That came out nice. Excuse me. I do like how I should glue. Watch, I glue. I wonder if this will come up yet. I could add a little bit of twine behind it, like I did on the on our journal card. Oh, good, it's coming. Good. I don't need it to come up all the way, just a little bit. Grab some twine. These are the twines that I just actually found on Amazon when I had started to run out, because I do use a lot of thread and twine and stuff in my cards. And lucky for me, it's going to match. This is a little thicker than thread though, so I don't need quite as much. I do get a kick out of when I'm watching Acorn, which is a lot of Canadian, Australian, New Zealand, those kinds of shows. All of the festivals and the fetes and almost all the programs that I watch, they all have, everybody's having all of these little carnival type things, and in so many of the episodes, I'm thinking, geez, they are some like partying people. Huh? To see if I better add a little bit of glue to that now and make it sure make sure it sticks. Make sure it's not going to come up. And then I can trim off of those little tiny, oh, those are sticky scissors. Trim off those little ends so they're not sticking out there. Oh, look. That came out cute. I like it. I'm very happy with that. There we are, using another technique from our journal crafting. Make a pretty card. Here are these sticky ones. Yep. They go in different spots. As you can tell, it makes a difference. I still grabbed the wrong ones. Do we want to add any little somethings? Oh, I don't want to add snowflakes. Good Lord, no. I'm only getting rid of that snow. I don't want reminders of that right now. Ooh, I have some of these, and that's soft succulent too, I believe. Oh, goodness. Is that right? Is that soft succulent? I think it is. Oh, I think it is. Oh, me, I'm just lucking out here. Mm-hmm. Lucky me. I don't hear anybody moving around down there yet. They are snoozing big. Yeah. I might get to work on a couple of those journal cards. I like that. I really am happy with this card. Other than my get well being crooked. That's nice. So there you are for your card crafting fun part today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to work on a little bit more of these index cards using this same technique. Isn't that top happy fun too? So let me grab, where did we leave off down here? Put that up there. Well, I guess I should have done this one, huh? Oh, I suppose so. I can work on my journaling stuff over the weekend. So, what color do we think this looks like? Oh, I didn't put gesso on it. How about pink. Polish pink. Maybe that'll fit in. Polish pink. Oh, I put my embossing folder back up there. Silly goose. Mm-hmm. Connect them a little bit so it doesn't look quite so striped. I think that by rubbing that in a little bit too, it does help it dry much quicker. Go over there. that down. Let me grab a piece of cardstock. So just what side. Now I don't think I want to use black thread on that one either. So excuse me. Let's see if we can't clear up a little. A little bit of my voice. That might work. Ooh, that's purple. The bad part about having those twines over in my cupboard is it's dark. That looks almost coral. I think that's the same color I have out from, no, I had orange before, I guess. Nope, they're the same. They're coral. This is a brighter pink. I don't know if I want bright. Oh, that might be alright, huh? And then we can make a birthday card. Although I don't know if I like, oh, it's got enough pink on there. I was going to say, I don't know if I like that green. But it might be okay with the pink card base. It might help get that green tone down a little bit and just give that enough, make the green just be a little bit of interest. Oh, now I need my scoring board back. Don't fall out again. I don't know why that falls out. And I'll have to trim this. I hope it's not too damp. I suppose we can emboss that one as well, right? Why not? They look pretty. Oh, you know what I could do? I could add those flowers. Remember I got like 8 million of them? Those dried flowers? Instead of adding the little bicycle. I think I think I'm going to try to make some tuna noodle for tonight. We haven't had that in forever. Having mentioned it the other day, so one of these Fridays we're going to have tuna noodle. And so it's been kind of on my mind because it sounded really good. That static from all the plastic. Weird. Under the table. Beans. bow. I don't know. Do I want to put flowers or do I just want to use the bicycle? You know what? I probably could do both because I'm not going to add my birthday greeting on the outside since it says happy day. I'll put my birthday message on the inside, which leaves the outside just a little bit emptier. I might put that one up on dimensionals with that. And what flowers did we have? I just threw all the blue ones on the table over there. Good grief. Let's see what this one looks like. Did I not open these yet? Oh, these are just, oh, look at that. Those are just flower heads. The blue ones weren't like that. How cool. Maybe they were. No, they don't have stems on them. Those are those ones I got at the at that flea market. Well, that's a pleasant little ordeal there, huh? A piece of that book page hanging off the edge. So I'm just going to use liquid glue and adhere my embossed panel again to the card base. Just remember, when you dry emboss something and you're adding texture to your paper, liquid glue is going to help hold it together a little bit more. And I'm going to have to open a new bottle pretty soon. Make sure my words are right side up. I'm going to put it on there with my print being upside down. Now, do we want to really put those flowers on there? I think I do. These two are stuck together. Oh no. Pretty dry. Oh, that one's all falling apart. Is that necessarily a good thing then? If I add these, are they going to fall apart in the card? I think I'm not being happy with the purpley part of it. I'm going to have to find something different. Yeah, the purple's just not going to do it for me today. Not with the pink. Okay, let's put some of these on here. Oh, you know what? We'll just use some more of those gems like we used on on our bird card, because we have pink in that pack as well. I'm going to put a couple extra on here because I want to add my twine and have it stick with the dimensionals, and I don't want them the front to not stick then. Am I even making complete sentences today? I'm not so sure I am. Make sure we get it on straight this time. Okay, and where'd I put those cute little square gemmers? Because these are, I may as well use these up. These are retiring with this catalog. These are the 2022 colors. So that time's almost up. So I have a new catalog coming out. Demonstrators are going to get their first sneak peek here April 1st. Get to do a little pre-ordering. I want to be very selective in what I order. Trying to pick stamp sets that I know I'm going to need. Like, for example, I need some more with Get Well sentiments in them. Yeah, I'm going to miss Misty Moonlight. I'm telling you. I like that color. That's this pretty blue. That's going away. Okay. Here we are. 2 cards. I got a Get Well and a Happy Birthday. Yay! Yay, yay. I really am liking that technique a lot. And I think that Time Worn Type embossing folder works well with it. I don't know if you can see the embossing. Is it showing up at all? I can't tell. So give it a go. Use what you have. Remember, if you don't have any spray inks, just add a little bit of whatever color of ink from your ink pad that you like. Just add that on one of your acrylic blocks. Let's try not to get too much water here. My little spritzer's over on the other side of my table. And then add a little water and spritz your paint. And you can get pretty much the same effect. Then, if you need to add a little bit more in-depth color, I'd probably wait until this was dry, if that was my card panel that I'm going to use, and then just take your markers, and we've done this in plenty of cards, and just flick some of the ink right from the marker. I've done it with this one quite a bit because I got ink all around. And give yourself some heavier splatters. So you don't have to have spray inks. I just was using them because I have them. And if you don't have gesso, you can always use a little bit of white acrylic paint. That works just as well. Let me see if I have that handy. I'll show you that you can substitute. Be great too if you wanted to add a little more color, didn't necessarily want to add white. Where's one of those? I don't have any book page on that one to show you. But you can use your white acrylic paint. So use some of the items that you have and give it a try. I really like the effect that it did have on our card. I like how that makes it blend in too. That's pretty. So give them a go. Mix up some of your techniques that you're using and don't be afraid to try some of your journaling ideas or your scrapbooking ideas and make a greeting card for somebody so you can ship it off and send someone a smile. And until Monday, when we get back into Easter cards, and I think, what am I using Monday? I think I'm using Art Gallery. Even though it doesn't have Easter greetings on this, this is one of the sets that's on sale through March to use with the mini cut and emboss. So we are going to use that and then just use an Easter greeting from another set. So until then, everyone have a wonderful weekend. And if you're lucky enough to be getting some nice weather like we are, enjoy it. It feels so much better than 7 degrees. I love it. Until Monday, God bless y'all. Thanks for being here.